All right, so where did you play in high school and college, and did you play lacrosse beyond that?
Well, I was fortunate, like I said, I went to the Kent school. It was a boarding school. I went as a freshman, and they required you to play a sport every season, fall, winter, and spring. So I played football. I grew up playing hockey, and I was actually planning on going to Babson College to play hockey. I ended up playing lacrosse, and the first game that I played in at Kent, I was on the JV team as a freshman, was the first game I actually saw. So I had never watched the game or anything. And I played at Kent, and I was captain of my junior and senior year. We had a very good team my junior year. My senior year, we were the number one team in New England. We went 14-0. We had a great group of guys, great teammates. It was just a wonderful experience. I started getting a number of schools interested in me to come and play lacrosse more than hockey, even though I really went to Kent to play hockey. I was thinking education too. But I loved the game. It was so much fun. I loved practice, loved the games. Never thought about, being recruited, but I had North Carolina, Hobart, Franklin and Marshall, Holy Cross. Boston College was a Division I program back at the time. But Springfield College ended up having me on their campus 3 times. And my dad died when I was a junior in high school. I was 17 years old, so I wanted to stay close. We had no money. They gave me a financial package that I couldn't refuse. I paid $1,500 a year to go to Springfield College, and I started all 4 years. It was a great experience. I was an All-American my senior year. I had a number of accolades while I was there. I was one of the all-time leading scorers. I think ended up like 250 points in my career. Great coaching. Keith Bugby, to this day, he's still a coach now. He's a very good friend of mine. But it gave me an opportunity to go and I played in Australia. I got a call one day from a coach in Australia. He said, "Hey, Jack, this is Barney Frederick. Do you have any interest in coming over and playing lacrosse in Australia?" So I spent a year in Australia. I played and I coached. It was the best experience of my life. I was so fortunate to get that call. But going to a Division III school and having the opportunity to play all 4 years, I was able to develop as a player. I developed more in Australia, and then when I came back, I was asked to try out for the Boston Blazers, which is an indoor team at the time. And I tried out for the Boston Blazers, and I tell this story all the time. Is there were 100 guys that they invited for the tryouts, and all these guys are lined up again. They had to sit us against the boards. They had us lined up against the boards, and they said, "We want you to introduce yourself and where you played and where you're from." And Dave Desco, 2-time All-American at Syracuse. His brother's still a coach at Syracuse. Bruce Chanichuk, 2-time All-American, national championship at Hopkins. Todd Francis, Cornell, All-American. Johnny Fay, All-World, UNH, All-American. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, what am I doing here? And I tell the kids all the time that it's not where you play, it's how you play, right? And once we started, the tryouts and the practices, I said, I think I can play with these guys. I think that I can play at this level. And because when I was at Springfield, we played Holy Cross, we played Brown, we played Harvard, we played BC, we played UNH. They were all Division I programs because back then there weren't as many teams, So I made the team. My first game with the Boston Blazers was in the Philadelphia Spectrum in front of 18,000 people. I'll never forget, we went out for warm-ups and there were 1,000 people there just watching us warm up. And there were 18,000 fans in the stands. It was sold out. and we're just a bunch of regular guys. You know, we just played because we loved the game, and we're looking at each other and they go, where'd these people come from? They came to watch us play? It was crazy. But it was a great experience and just a great group of guys. And the guys I played with on the Boston Blazers, I mean, I'd say 90% of them are still my very dear friends. And that's the great thing about lacrosse, is you develop some great relationships. I played in the World Games in 2002. I played for the USA team in the Masters division. So, you know, the game has been very, very good to me.